this reading that people may get this. This as always. All right, folks. Welcome into the Holy Bible again. Today we got the NASB as we have been reading, and as we will likely read for the next 200 days. But 4 through 8, 4 and 5, Deborah and Barak deliver Israel again from the king of Canaan and his army. They sing a song afterwards, and chapter 6, they were pressed by Midian after doing evil, and then they cried out to the Lord again, and then the Lord raises up Gideon to conquer the Midianites and their land. And Gideon asks for some signs, and he gets it, and he leads the Gideonites out of, or the Israelites out of the hands of the Midianites, and they conquer the Midianites, as a matter of fact. So yeah. So God bless you, Metro. Welcome in. How's your day? Happy Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas Eve. I kept getting notifications for the stream as soon as it starts, but it leads me to the stream. The stream is over. Interesting. That's weird. But then again, they committed idolatry, and Gideon dies, and whatever. Yeah, I don't know what's happening with the notification stuff. It's either a delayed notification or it leads you to a dead stream. I don't know. I'll have to look at that. Basically, I'm getting notifications after the stream ends saying, interesting. So you get notifications that I'm starting now twice? So double notifications? I don't know. Yeah, that's kind of weird. Oh well. It is what it is. Okay. Well, we're going to start with chapter 9, Abimelech's conspiracy. So, here we go. Now, Abimelech, the son of Jerubbaal, or Gideon, went to Shechem to his mother's relatives and tamales and ponche and atole. That's what's for Christmas. Now Abimelech, the son of Jerubbaal, went to Shechem and his mother's relatives and spoke to them and to the entire family of the household of his mother's father, saying, Speak now in the hearing of all the elders of Shechem. Which is better for you? For 70 men, all the sons of Jerubbaal, to rule over you, or for one man to rule over you? Also, I remember that I am your bone and your flesh. So the mother's relatives spoke all these words on his behalf in the hearing of all the leaders of Shechem, and they were inclined to follow Abimelech, for they said, He is our relative. And he gave him 70 pieces of silver from the house of Baal-berith, with which Abimelech hired worthless and reckless men, and they followed him. And then he went to his father's house in Ophrah and killed his brothers on the sons of Jerubbaal, 70 men on one stone. But Jotham was the youngest son of Jerubbaal that was left because he hid himself. All the leaders of Shechem and Beth Millo assembled together, and they went and made Abimelech king by the oak of the memorial stone which was in Shechem. Now, when they told Jotham, he went and stood on the top of Mount Gerizim and raised his voice and called out, and he said to them, Listen to me, you leaders of Shechem, that God may listen to you. Once the trees went to anoint a king over them, and they said to the olive tree, reign over us. But the olive tree said to them, shall I give up my fatness, which with God and the mankind are honored, and go to wave over the trees? Then a tree said to the fig tree, you, come reign over us. But the fig tree said to them, shall I give up my sweetness and my good fruit, and go wave over the trees? Then the tree said to the vine, you come reign over us. But the vine said to them, shall I give up my new wine which cheers God and mankind, and go to wave over the trees? Then all the trees said to the bramble, you come reign over us. And the bramble said to the trees, if you are really anointing me as king over you, come and take refuge in my shade. But if not, may fire come out of the bramble and consume the cedars of Lebanon. Now then, if you have acted with honesty and integrity in making Abimelech king, and if you have dealt well with Jerubbaal and his house, and have dealt with him as he deserved, for my father fought for you and risked his life and saved you from the hand of Midian. But in fact, you have risen against my father's house today, and had killed his sons, 70 men, on one stone, and have made Abimelech, the son of his female slave, king over the leaders of Shechem, because he is your relative. So if you have acted with honesty and integrity toward Jerubbaal, his house this day, be joyful about Abimelech, and may he also be joyful about you. But if not, may fire come out of Abimelech and consume the leaders of Shechem and Beth Millo, and may fire come out of the leaders of Shechem and from Beth Millo and consume Abimelech. Then Jotham escaped and fled and went to Beer, and stayed there because of his brother Abimelech. Shechem and Abimelech fall. Now Abimelech ruled over Israel for 3 years. Then God sent an evil spirit between Abimelech and the leaders of Shechem, and the leaders of Shechem dealt treacherously with Abimelech, so that the violence done to the 70 sons of Jerubbaal would come, and a responsibility for their blood would be placed on their brother Abimelech, who killed them, and on the leaders of Shechem, who encouraged him to kill his brothers. The leaders of Shechem set up men in ambush against him on the tops of the mountains, and they robbed everyone who would pass by them on the road, and it was reported to Abimelech. Now Gaal, the son of Ebed, came with his relatives and crossed over into Shechem, and the leaders of Shechem trusted him. So they went out to the field and gathered the grapes of their vineyards and trampled them and held a festival. And they went into the house of their God and ate and drank and cursed Abimelech. Then Gaal the son of Ebed said, who is Abimelech and who is Shechem, that we should serve him? Is he not the son of Jerubbaal, or whatever you pronounce it, and Zebul not his governor? Serve the men of Hamor, the father of Shechem. But why should we serve him? If only this people were under my authority, then I would do away with Abimelech. And he said to Abimelech, enlarge your army and come out. When Zebul, the leader of the city, heard the words of Gaal, the son of Ebed, his anger burned. So, using deception, he successfully sent messengers to Abimelech, saying, behold, Gaal, the son of Ebed, and his relatives have come to Shechem, and behold, they are stirring up the city against you. So now arise by night, you and the people who are with you, and lie in wait in the field. Then in the morning, as soon as the sun is up, you shall rise early and attack the city, and behold, when he and the people who are with him come out against you, you shall do to them whatever you can. So Abimelech and all the people who were with him got up at night and lay in wait until against Shechem in 4 units. Now Gaal the son of Ebed went out and stood at the entrance to the city gate, and Abimelech and the people who were with him arose from the ambush. When Gaal saw the people, he said to Zebul, Look, people are coming down from the tops of the mountains. But Zebul said to him, If you, you are seeking the shadow of the mountains as if they were people. And Gale spoke yet again and said, Look, people are coming down from the highest part of the land, and one unit is coming by way of the diviner's oak. Then Zebul said to him, Where then is your boasting with which you said, Who is Abimelech that we should serve him? Is it not the people whom you rejected? Go out now and fight them. So Gael went out in the sight of the leaders of Shechem and fought Abimelech. But Abimelech chased him and he fled from him, and many fell wounded up to the entrance of the gate. Now Abimelech stayed in Arumah, but Zebul drove out Gael and his relatives so that they could not stay in Shechem. Now it came about the next day that the people went out to the field, and it was reported to Abimelech. So he took his people and divided it into 3 units and lay in wait in the field. Then he looked and saw the people coming out from the city. He attacked them and killed them. Then Abimelech and the company who was with him rushed forward and stood at the entrance of the city gates. The other 2 companies then attacked all who were in the field and killed them. Abimelech fought against the city that whole day and captured the city and killed its people. Hold on a second. Hold on. Sorry. Sorry. Let me continue. Now, well, we'll start out. Then Abimelech stayed in a room, and Zebul drove out Gael and his relatives so that he could not stay in Shechem. Hold on just a moment. Let me just take care of this. Here we go. Now it came about the next day that the people went out to the field, and it was reported to Abimelech. So he took his people and divided them into 3 units and lay in wait in the field. When he looked and saw the people coming out from the city, he attacked them and killed them. Then Abimelech and the company who was with him rushed forward and stood at the entrance of the city gate. The other 2 companies then attacked all who were in the field and killed them. Abimelech fought against the city that whole day, and he captured the city and killed the people who were in it. Then he tore down the city and sowed it in salt. All right. When all the leaders of the Tower of Shechem heard about it, they entered the inner chamber of the temple of El Berith, and it was reported to Abimelech that all the leaders of the Tower of Shechem were gathered together. So Abimelech went up to Mount Zalmon, he and all the people who were with him. And Abimelech took an axe in its head and cut down a branch from the trees and lifted it and put it on his shoulder. Then he said to the people who were with him, What you saw me do, hurry and do likewise. So all the people also cut down, each one his branch, and followed Abimelech, and put them on top of the inner chamber, and set the inner chamber on fire over those inside, so that all the people of the Tower of Shechem also died, about 1,000 men and women. Then Abimelech went to Thebez and he camped against Thebez and captured it. But there was a strong tower in the center of the city, and all the men and women and all the leaders of the city fled there and shut themselves in, and they went up on the roof of the tower. So Abimelech came to the tower and fought against it and approached the entrance of the tower to burn it down with fire. But a woman threw an upper millstone on Abimelech's head, crushing his skull. Then he called quickly to the young man, his arm bearer, and said to him, "Draw your sword and kill me, so that it would not be said of me, a woman killed him." So the young man pierced him through, and he died. Now when the men of Israel saw that Abimelech was dead, each left for his home. So God repaid the wickedness of Abimelech, which he had done to his father in killing his 70 brothers. God also returned all the wickedness of the men of Shechem on their heads, and the curse of Jotham, the son of Jerubbaal, came upon them. All right, I'll be right back. Let me just do this quickly. All right, I think. Hold on a second. Here we go. Yeah. I think we're going to stop there, actually, because I think I was considering reading chapter 10, but I think here's a better stopping point. But, yeah, I think chapter 10 transitions better into chapter 11 when joined together. Now, chapter 9, Abimelech is raised after the death of Gideon, Jerubbaal, or whatever you call him. Gideon. So he killed his brothers, or his sons actually. So he took 70 pieces of silver and was paid to kill them, I think, if I'm not mistaken, with one stone. 70 for 70. Each person who was killed was worth 1 shekel of silver. The Lord saw this, and he stirred up an evil spirit so that Abimelech would fall. What else? Jotham, his son, he gives a parable to the people of Shechem about the olive trees, about the trees, the olive tree, the fig tree, the vine, and the bramble, who are wanting them to reign. Whoever it is they're asking, they want them to reign over them. So the bram and notice how in the bramble it says, "If you are really anointing me as king over you, come and take refuge in my shade. But if not, may fire come out of the bramble and consume the cedars of Lebanon." So you could interpret it different ways, but the way I interpret it is, if you're going to serve God, go ahead and serve him with a heart. Which I fall short of myself, but also, if you're not going to serve him, you're on your own, kid. That's the way to put it. Now, if you have to, now, in verses 16 through 20, I believe, I think Jotham says something else. If you have served, basically, if you've served my father with sincerity, be joyful. But since you have killed uh, the people, the sons of my father, 70 men, because you did that, you will be consumed by fire. And the fire is not necessarily like um, a big fire, or I mean, not a big fire, but it's not just a fire. It's also um, the sword, whatever way to kill. Basically, the fire means you will be consumed into death. So, because they did that, they will be dead. Now, it connects very well with what Jesus said to the Pharisees. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees. So, or he's talking to the Sadducees, I believe. So to the Sadducees, he says, woe to you, you hypocrites, for you, for you say, we would have, if we were alive, we would have not taken part in killing the prophets or whatever. But in your actions, you will prove that you are the sons of those who murdered the prophets. So, you're sons of the devil. The people in Shechem who turned over the sons of Gideon are the devil, sons of the devil, and the Sadducees and the Pharisees are generally sons of the devil for rejecting Jesus. And Jerubal, or whatever you call him, Gideon, in this case, can translate to Jesus as the sons of Shechem can translate to the Pharisees, Sadducees, scribes. So, because of this prophecy, Abimelech ruled Israel for 3 years, and then God sent an evil spirit to deliver Israel from the hand of Abimelech. Now, Gael comes in and curses Abimelech and dares him to fight him. Dares him to fight. Now, Abimelech and Gael fight each other. Abimelech chases him and flies. Gael flies. Then they find him, and then Abimelech is like, what you saw me do, hurry and do likewise. So, yes, it's something that Jesus would say, but the fact that Abimelech says this is kind of troubling, because God is against Abimelech, not with Abimelech. And God is with Jesus, not against Jesus, obviously. So, yeah. Then there's this woman who threw an upper millstone, crushing the skull of Abimelech, because he does not want to die that way. He wants his armor bearer to kill him for whatever reason, he does not want to be known for being killed by a woman. So there he dies. So Abimelech kills 70 descendants of Jerubbaal, and Gael is raised up to go get him killed. That's chapter 9, and we're going to stop there for now. Yeah. So, Merry Christmas, folks. God bless y'all. And thank you, Metro, for stopping by. Go in peace and seek the love of the Lord and enjoy your Christmas, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ's birthday. Yeah, that's what it is. You might see Santa Claus, you might see elves, you might see the reindeer, all these things. But it's really Jesus Christ at the center. So, thank you all for tuning in, and Merry Christmas. Right now it's Christmas Eve, but Merry Christmas regardless. Go in peace and seek the